Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. Just a very quick vlog before work this morning. It's a nice morning, not so humid. It's gonna get hotter though as the day goes on. It's mid-July, so that's to be expected. Looks like we're mostly done with the rain for now. We might get some more rain showers. Thunder showers in the evening, but none of these big rainstorms. The weekend looks beautiful after Saturday morning. I'm planning to get out of town this weekend, taking a long weekend. Haven't totally decided if going to the Adirondacks or Schoharie. Leaning towards Schoharie, but it could change. I like to some of the Catskill Scenic Trail and then the Minekill State Park and get good stuff to eat at Shaw's and do some fishing and do some bike riding on some of those roads up at Burnt Rossman. But I'll figure that out as we get closer. A little over a week and a half till vacation, starting to think about what I want to eat on vacation. I want to make sure things have to be soaked or do a lot of cooking, try to do them at home and bring them in Ziploc bags in the cooler, at least some of the stuff, so I don't have to do less cooking out there. I don't have to deal with soaking beans and stuff along those lines. Too much up at camp. I mean, I have some canned beans I could use, but I prefer not to use canned beans because of the salt content. I want to try to keep the meals healthy at camp, but also really tasty and good. And I feel like I'm in a good place to do that now. Vacation should be a lot of fun. I'm going to do a lot of mountain biking and trail riding and fishing. And I bring my kayak. I bring my tube so I can float out in Seneca Lake. What I'll do is I'll tow the tube on the behind the kayak, and then I can hop out the kayak and float in the tube along the shallow parts of Seneca Lake. By the beach there, and where all the boaters get together and do their thing. And probably also in the evening go for a bike ride along uh, Stonehouse Road there outside of Watkins Glen, which would be great. And the Cayute Rail Trail will be awesome. Black Diamond Trail. I want to get spend some time in Ithaca. What I'll do is I'll park in downtown Ithaca, either park in downtown Ithaca or at Stewart Park, and then ride up to the college. I want to explore that gorge up there. I've never been up there before. I knew about it for a long time, and then I actually saw it when my truck had the problem last year, and I had that stupid loose wheel nut. I had to go up to the airport to try to rent a car, and then it turned out that the bus went through the Cornell campus and saw the gorge. And I said I really want to check that out this year, but I also don't want to deal with having to park on campus or find parking up there or any the traffic. I hate driving through those hills and stuff. So yeah. Wanted last night to go to the Normanskill Ravines Preserve. I figured now that I have a bike, I can get around town quickly and easily without driving. I should start checking out more of the local preserves that I've overlooked in the past. But it just poured last night. It thundered when I first got home. I figured I better wait this out because the thunderstorm's pretty close. And then it rained till 7:30 to quarter to 8. And then I went out for an evening walk. But it was good. I got more reading in. Finishing up. I'm getting much further than that Bogleheads investing book I have out from the library. And then I'm also reading a Mark Bittman book about food policy. I spend a lot of time thinking about food and health and stuff. It's a very fascinating thing, but it's also something that's an action step that I can take immediately. And it's fun to learn about new foods and nutrition, the pros and cons of eating various different things and diets. I'm not dogmatic. I don't do keto or I don't know, whatever, Mediterranean or whatever the diet fad of the day is. I like to pick the best out of each thing. Weigh the different vitamins you get out of each food, what the pros and cons of the different fats, the salts, the sugars, and all that stuff. How to avoid all that stuff and get it below the level it should be, but at the same time feeling full all the time and having good things to eat that are variety and interesting and tasty. Even though I'm willing to set aside a little bit the taste for healthier food for something that's healthier. Because often once you get eating the healthier stuff, you actually prefer it. You learn to like the taste. I mean, at first when I started eating plain non-fat Greek yogurt, I thought it was very strong and just not very tasty. But then you get used to it and you really like it. I mean, it's great with fresh fruit, and it makes great. And well, I didn't do it last night. Over the weekend, I made up homemade lemonade with stevia, which was amazing. I mean, that's something I'm gonna, as a cool treat while I'm camping too. Bring a bunch of fresh lemons and dump in some stevia and some cold water, and maybe even some ice that I get, when I refill the cooler. if they don't have the big block ice, we'll get the small ice, and maybe save some of that in a Ziploc bag. And then that night I can always have lemonade with ice in it, which will be really good. Planning to have a very active, busy vacation. Gas prices are down some, so I won't be worried so much about the cost of fuel. Although I am just going to try to set up at the Finger Lakes National Forest and have the same campsite all week, so I won't be setting up and taking down stuff, which will make it a lot easier. And I mean, there'll probably be some days I'll stick around the forest and just, ride the bike around, do some extra cooking, do some fishing, hanging out, and exploring without driving places. But there'll be a lot of days I'll probably drive down to Watkins Glen to do, mountain bike or do biking on some of the trails, spend time at the pool, the gorge, Robert Truman State Park, obviously Ithaca, Trumansburg, and, the Robert Truman Park. And then I might go up to Cayuga Outlet Trail and Dresden / Penn and explore up there. I'd like to do that trail again on a bike. I haven't been up there since 2020 when I was on vacation. And I want to paddle Seneca Lake. We have some nice calm days. Maybe some floating out on the tube from the boat launch there, because it's really pretty shallow. The southern end of Seneca Lake. I probably wouldn't do the town beach, although I would probably go to Clute Park in the evening if it's open and they're not charging. And but if not, I mean, park either the boat launch or off of Stone Cabin Road there, and walk over to the beach. But I mean, in the morning, and especially on weekdays, no problem to park at the new boat launch they have, the state boat launch along 79. Other than that, just kind of getting through the week. This is my last 5-day week for a few weeks, because obviously next week I'm only taking up Monday and Friday. Monday for the weekend trip, and then Friday I'm leaving for vacation. And the following week I'm off. And then the following week after that I have my dentist appointment, which I confirmed is August 11th. And I might take the full day off, depending how things go, and depending if we have coverage at work. So I can go down. I have a dentist appointment, then I might want to go out to my parents' house. They want to do a clam bake that weekend. They're talking Saturday, might do it Friday, depends what the weather's like. So I will be in town that weekend. And then the following 2 weekends, at least one of those weekends, I do want to get out of town. Probably do the potholers up in the Adirondacks. And then Labor Day weekends after those 2 weekends, thinking that would be Spectator, maybe do Hardwood Hill and camp up there like usual, ride some of the dirt roads on my mountain bike, do some paddling on the Sacandaga River / Lake Pleasant, maybe do the Conjuremunk, although I hate the Conjuremunk with all the beaver dams and stuff. But there's lots of possibilities. And then we're getting to September. We have a work party on September 9th, so I'll probably stay in town that week. But later in the month, I want to do some bike riding out in Charles Baker State Forest. Might camp in Rensselaerville State Forest once the fall gets underway, and I know the campsite's probably going to be vacant. And the earlier sunsets, it'd be nice to have places closer to home to camp. And then, as I said, I do want to do Charles Baker because I want to do some mountain biking on some of the roads and some of the easier trails, the beginner trails. It's also include, all the developed mountain bike trails on the Woodford State Forest would be great on the mountain bike. I think I'm the one up at Castle Hill. A few parts I probably want to dismount the bike and walk it, just so I don't wreck the bike and so I don't fall and injure myself. But I want to go up to Castle Hill because that was so nice when I was there in January. Then October into November, I still have thoughts about going out to Cazenovia, Stony Pond State Forest, and Chittenango Gorge rail trails. I guess it's called Link Trail, and Chittenango Gorge, and all that fun stuff. And then maybe a trip down to Pennsylvania or the Finger Lakes in the fall too. I don't want to do West Virginia this year because it's just too far. My truck getting pretty old. I don't want to put the stress on the truck, and it's a long trip, and my big truck uses a lot of fuel, so I'd rather wait until a future year, because probably realistically in 2024 or early 2025 I have to retire Big Red and replace them probably with something smaller, thinking a little Toyota or something, but I haven't really decided for sure. That's still a few years off. Nice thing is it should be in good shape to purchase that with cash. But I mean, that's obviously we have to re-equip the new truck with all the accessories. Probably have to get a cap, maybe try to get a used cap, but I'll probably have to get a new one just because I know the market can be tight and they change the truck files every year or so. Um, but I would like to almost a smaller truck, get in and out of campsites better. And I mean, I really don't need the big lift kit. I can get into. It's rare that I ever bottom out a truck, and those Toyotas are fairly high bottom and they're reliable, so that's why I'm thinking that way. But that's hopefully a few years off. Hoping Big Red, I can get a few more, at least a year or two more out of him. We'll see. But yeah. So yeah, busy times ahead. I'm not complaining about the mountain bike anymore. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe I would have. There are other choices I could have made, but I mean, it was pretty affordable. And being the last things, the basket put together on the truck and or on the bike, and with the quick release. And I have my cell phone carrier installed, and the bike lock hanger is going to get put on tonight. I'm thinking too. So I should pretty much be set with that bike for any adventures I want to have, and then just any repairs I have to make. But I'm going to try to be gentle on it, keep the tire pressure as well. Make sure I'm keeping the chains lubed, washed down, and well maintained. But yeah, getting close to vacation. I gotta get down to work. It's 9 o'clock now, so I already see the first email coming in. So everyone have a great day, and we'll chat soon.